Bertie the bus was giving some visitors a tour of the island of Sodor. It was their last afternoon, and Edward was taking them to meet Bill and Ben. He found it hard to start the heavy train. "Do you see him straining?" said Henry. "Yeah, that's positively painful," said James. "Just pathetic," said Gordon. "He should give up and be preserved before it's too late." "Shut up," burst out Duck. "You're all jealous. Edward can be better than any of you." "You're right," said Boko. "Edward's old, but I'm sure he'll surprise us all." "I done it! We're off! I done it! We're off!" said Edward as he punched proudly out of the station. Bill and Ben were very delighted to see the visitors arrive. And then they took the party to the China Clay Works on a brake van special. The visitors had knew about Bill and Ben, and they had a wonderful time. Later, Edward took the visitors home. On the way, the weather changed. Wind and rain buffeted Edward. His landing gear failed, and so his fireman rode up front, dropping sand on the rails by hand. Suddenly, Edward's wheel slid fiercely, and with a shrieking crack, something broke. The crew inspected the damage. Repairs took some time. "One of your crank pins broke, Edward," said his engineer. "We've taken your side rods off. Now you're like an old-fashioned engine." "Listen," said his driver. "Can you get these people home? They must start back tonight." "I'll try," said Edward. Edward puffed and pulled his hardest, but his wheels kept slipping and he could not start the heavy train. The passengers were anxious. The engineer, fireman, and conductor went along the train, making adjustments in between the coaches. "We loosened your couplings, Edward," said the engineer. "Now you can pull your passenger cars one by one, just as you can do with freight cars." "That'll be much easier," said Edward. "Come on," he puffed, and pulled cautiously forward. The first coach moving helped to start the second, and the second helped the third. I done it, said Edward cheerfully. "Well done, boy." "Well done, say, Edward," said his driver. "Well done, you got them. And so he listened to Edward's steady beat and forged slowly but surely ahead. At last, battered, weary, but unbeaten, Edward steamed in. Henry was waiting where the visitors with his special train. Peep, peep! Sir Topham Hatt pointed angrily towards the clock, and excited passengers had finally made it, and they had also thanked Edward, his driver, fireman, and the conductor. For all their hearts for getting them home. Duck and Boko saw to it that Edward was left in peace. Gordon and James remained respectfully silent.